All right, shalom first and foremost. I give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Chief Priest, Allah's Auburn Lawyer, a.k.a. the Gorilla Hebrew, coming at y'all with another podcast. It's a Gorilla, episode 14. Been about 2 weeks. 2 weeks? A week or two? Since my last installment, episode 13, which was the top 5 Kev Mac videos of all time. Very enjoyable video, got a lot of positive feedback. Even the brother Kev Mac came and showed some love, which I was appreciative to. But we got quite a few things. Quite a few things have occurred since the last podcast that there was even stuff I wanted to talk about on that podcast, but it ended up running a certain length, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna just end it here and leave this podcast to just be exclusively about my top 5 Kev Mac videos. But there's some other stuff I want to deal with as well. A lot of stuff has happened. So first and foremost, I want to let everyone know I finally have canceled Sling. Finally canceled my Sling membership. Thanks to everyone who gave me the advice to call them. Finally called them about 2 days ago, and I was able to cancel my membership. And I knew, because usually it's like right around the mid-month where they charge me anyway. At $40. And through the grace of the Most High, I was able to call. And when I called in, they told me that, oh, is your email the whole time? Like, we had your email wrong. My thing is, how in the hell do you got my email wrong if that same email that I used, my registration came in there? That's the whole reason. I got a million emails, right? If y'all know, we got a million YouTube channels. So having all these YouTube channels, you got to have unique emails, right? So I got a million emails, so I didn't know which one was what. And that's when I was trying to crack the code and see how to cancel the damn Sling. I had to go to, I had to figure out what email to go to. That was one of the dilemmas. So I saw the registration email on one of the SICARRI emails, and that's how I even knew which email it was. And it wouldn't log in, but they're talking about, yeah, it was just SICARRI got 2 eyes at the end. They would say, oh, it was just 1 eye. So that was the issue. That's why you couldn't log in. So, which I feel like it's some foul play involved, and it's literally a tactic that they're using, just misspelling people's email to lock them in, because, to try to retain people. Because especially with losing their Univision channels, that was one of their main draws to get people to stick with Sling, was the Univision channels, the Latin programming and things like that. So, it is what it is, though. All praise to the Most High. I'm finally out of my Sling contract. All praise to the Most High. All right. But also, on a more serious note, if y'all have been paying attention to our channel over the course since last Thursday, is now the 15th, Saturday, we've been covering the unfortunate murder of the brother Botham Shem Jean, a St. Lucian immigrant of Haitian descent to America, who was killed, who was an accountant, who was killed by a Dallas police officer on last Thursday night, man. And since we heard about it Friday morning, it was boots on the ground Friday afternoon. Up until this point, we just was out there on the streets in front of the police station yesterday. And we plan to be out there today as well, through the spirit and power and by the grace of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. And, for those of y'all who aren't familiar, essentially what occurred was the brother Botham Shem Jean, this Dallas police officer entered his home, which was not her home, allegedly mistaking it as her home, and shot the brother dead under the guise that it was her home and he was an intruder. There's been several holes in her story, and as opposed to me running through everything, just go on ahead and go to the Sicarii, youtube.com/Sicarii, and go watch our coverage on it, because we've covered all the updates, everything on the ground, on the front lines. So that's what I would suggest. But if you're not familiar with the situation, please, I urge you to familiarize yourself. Outside of that, also a Hispanic brother was murdered by local Dallas authorities as well, earlier this month, and didn't get as much media coverage as our brother Botham Shimjon, but it very well should. He was murdered in front of his wife and children. And you know, these are the things that happen to the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in America. So we need to familiarize ourselves with these cases and make sure that we're speaking out and doing what we can, man, and advocating for our brothers who are fallen victims. So I just wanted to touch on that kind of briefly. But yeah, so real quick, a comment was just made, man, on the SICARRI YouTube page, and it's by a brother named Servant of Israel, right? And it's on one of the videos where I'm covering this this situation where this devil pig Amber Geiger murdered our brother Botham. And the comment reads, "SICARRI is better than Matlock. Good detective work, right?" And I replied, you know, LOL, because when I was young, before my grandpa died, he would sit me on his lap and we watched Matlock all day. And that's like one of the main stories that all my family would tell me about, you know, the type of bond that my grandfather and I had before he passed. You know, when I was really young, they would talk about how he would, you know, how he would teach me Creole, how he would how we would watch Matlock together, and how we would argue, and how I would curse him out even before I knew how to talk. I would curse him out, man. And it's funny because the way that my grandma used to describe how I would, you know, curse my my grandpa out when I would get upset with him, it's similar. Good night. Is similar to how my little son talk now, you know, very similar to how my son talk now. So it's funny that that it was described by that. My fault, y'all. I'm just waking up, man. It's what time is it? 7:30 in the morning out here. You know. And you know, wifey she's just going to sleep. She's been up doing her videos because she's got her makeup channel now starting. So you know, she waits till the kids go to sleep and records her videos and stuff like that. So my bad if I'm a little slow this morning. But yeah, so my son, he talks exactly like the way my grandma describes I used to curse my grandfather out, which is all funny and full circle. But you know, just when this Matlock comment, you know, he could have said Columbo, or you know, any other more modern cop shows, Monk, but you know, the brother said Matlock, man. And you know, that's interesting because, you know, I really used to sit up and just watch Matlock all day with my grandpa, you know. So you know, that kind of brought back some vague and fun memories. My bad. But yeah, so let's get to some business though. Power. Y'all know I'm an avid Power guy, huge Power fan. It's been about 2 episodes of Power since my last installment. And you know, Power, you know, they staggered us for about 7 episodes, I think. And then episode 8, 9, and 10 were really good episodes. I think 7 may have even been a good episode. But episodes 8, 9, and 10 were really good episodes. But here we are in the finale, and kind of like I spoke to the brother Captain Tazama about the finale. The thing about the finale, which you know, he pointed out that the finale seemed rushed, and I agree. It was a little rushed, and like the thing was, the finale, it's the culmination of the season, but I feel like it was predicated principally on storylines that had just kind of been introduced in the previous episode. You know, of course, we see Tommy finally kill his pops, Teresi. We see that finally occur, which was great. But then Tommy goes into a rage about it once he discovers that Ghost gave it to the Italians, and the Italians, or the Italians, gave it to Tommy for Tommy to do. He becomes enraged about that, which doesn't make any sense. yes, I could see him being upset about that, but at the end of the day, his pops was a snitch, and that's why he killed him. That's why. So there's no reason why you should have this bloodlust for Ghost in the manner in which you do, that leads you to going to seemingly shoot him and shooting Angela instead. But I like that Angela was shot. I like that it ended on that note. I saw the spoiler. For those of y'all that don't know, the spoiler of it was going all around social media of Angela getting shot prior to the release of the finale. So I knew Angela was going to get shot by Tommy. I just didn't know exactly when it was going to happen and in what context, what was going to be the cause of it. But ultimately, I was pleased with that. I mean, since season 1, or if not season 1, at least season 2, you know, I've wanted and awaited the death of Angela, which of course we still don't even know if she's actually dead. That's the cold part about it, because that's how the damn show ended, and we got a whole damn year until the show comes again. But we'll see what happens. And you know, I want to say, Lord willing, like within the next 2 weeks, they say they're going to start putting out previews of the next season. So because they already know people is in a damn frenzy about it. So I know they're going to plan on what you know, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with the previews. But you know, it kind of didn't that didn't make sense to me why he was that mad. But maybe it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg. There's been so much back and forth and going behind people's backs, etc. Ghost, you would have believed me. I would have believed you, Ghost. No, first off, nigga, Tommy, Ghost been telling you your pops was a rat from jump. Your pops had already threatened to rat on him when they was locked up together, nigga. So he knew your pops had snitch in him. And he'd been warning you from jump, and you wouldn't believe him, so he went behind your back. That's very understandable, logically. Logically, it's understandable. But then again, Ghost has done a lot of behind the back, shady stuff. And maybe Tommy was just sick of it. I'm not sure. Another thing, though, you have Lala's character, Keisha, who just wants to get the hell away from Tasha and just hates Tasha and Ghost. And that really doesn't even make any sense either. It doesn't really make sense. Let's just be real, right? What else? And I'm not even gonna give a spoiler alert. It's been a whole damn week. You ain't seen Power yet, nigga. I don't know what to tell you. But whatchamacallit, what happened? And but I'm gonna do because I saw the Predator. I went to the Predator premiere yesterday, so I'll wait till the end of the episode for that. So, you know, I won't spoil anybody on that. That'll be the last thing I talk about. But anyway, what was the other issue I had? Oh, this idiot Tasha. So when they went to move on Angela, they fell up in her apartment, her and Tommy, and they was finna kill Angela, and then they decided against it. But here it is. Tasha, dumbass, is sitting there like, I've been waiting for this. So you basically are letting Angela know that you want to kill her, that you've been faking the fuck with her like y'all been cool, and your intentions from jump is to wait on the opportunity to end her life. You should have killed her, even though the details weren't what you thought they were. You should have killed her anyway, because now the bitch knows you want her dead. That's one of the dumbest things you could have did too. That was stupid. And sensible criminals that we're supposed to believe they are on the show wouldn't have done that. There's the continuity issues that we're seeing with the show and that people are complaining about in the season. It's stuff like that. The Tommy thing, yeah, it could be the tip of the iceberg, but it still doesn't fully make sense. Tasha and Tommy not killing Angela in the apartment, and they ended up killing her anyway. They just did it in a more dramatic fashion where she died in the arms of Ghost. That didn't make any damn sense. What else, man? It's kind of, I don't know, man. And then for Tommy to allow that Fed lawyer to be the one that even set him off and set him into motion in the first place. If you're unapologetic about killing your pops, Tommy, why in the hell does it matter how the information got to you that led you to kill him? Why? You can't logically analyze that you may have been compromised by it if Ghost would have came to you with it and you thought that he tried to fabricate this, or the context of this was taken out of, it was taken out of context. And then, he wasn't even going to rat on me. He was going to rat on Ghost. How many people have you killed for trying to rat on Ghost? What about Holly, who you killed for paying people to kill ghosts? So those aspects don't make any sense. And then also, how in the hell are you going to do an extend the damn episode 10, 20 minutes and not feature Tariq whatsoever, who seemingly is going to be the key figure in the future of this show? All things that don't make sense. But overall, I liked the last episode. I was content and happy with it. And, if we're still here a year from now, I plan on watching it. And I think with episodes 8, 9, and 10, the way they were able to pull the show back around and start to intrigue me, then, they kept me on as a fan. But if they would have been kept going in the way that they were in the previous episodes of this season, they might have lost me as a fan, especially with the death of Kanan. I don't think Kanan should have been written off so early. I just don't. But it does make sense for the continuity to show the decisions that Ghost and Tasha as a family continually make. It only makes sense for Tariq to start making similar decisions, and Kanan was the only option for that decision. The only option. I'm interested in seeing in the upcoming season the relationship between Tariq and the Italians grow. Tariq grow as a drug dealer, as a criminal, and when it's finally going to become a time where Ghost finally accepts the fact that this is his kid, this is who he is, and this is who he's going to be. I can't wait for that time, because that's when the show is going to be interesting. And also, usually a show ideally only goes 5 seasons, the good shows. But if you spend the next season, season 6, with a war between Tommy and Keisha versus Ghost and Tasha with the assistance of Tariq, and then eventually transition the show kind of in Tariq being the primary character, you could extend the show into season 7, possibly even into season 8. But that's with giving it a new lease on life through Tariq becoming the protagonist. Period. It's also, you still have the woman from the first episode who's still lingering. That's interesting. We still have it seemingly Dre's going to be out the picture, which Dre is a cold nigga, man, signing for just him and his daughter to go to witness protection and negating his baby mom, who was just pumping rod into. That's evil as hell. But of course, little things like that are things that the show has to put in to make you hate Dre. Stuff like that. But I'm interested to see where the show is going, and overall, because of episodes 8, 9, and 10, they locked me in, and I'm buying for the next season for certain. With my Sling being canceled, I'm pretty happy, because that opens up a little budget to maybe extend my Stars subscription, and Stars has tiers, because I've been going on Stars On Demand because, just to watch Power, but I discovered all the plethora of other content that they have, which is great. They have my favorite movie. I think they took it off one of my favorite movies, though, which is a movie called Brick. Great neo-noir detective film. They had it. I think they took it off, though. They have my favorite movie of all time on there, which is Life. They got another one of my favorites, Hardball. They got a lot of good, especially black movies on there. But some of them are available, and some of them you have to get the upper tier Stars subscription in order to access. So I'm highly considering doing that. In wake of some of my budget being opened up with this Sling cancellation. I don't have the Fire Stick. I'm not running Cody like I used to, so I'm legitimately getting subscriptions to these various services. Not a huge Netflix guy, even though Black Panther's on there. I guess I'll probably get back on Netflix once the shows that I watch are back on there. I think Traveler's getting ready to come back out, etc. So that's kind of my thing on the Power finale. I'm gonna move on to the controversy between Serena Williams and Naomi, who they're calling Naomi Osaka. Look, and the parallel with Serena and Naomi is the parallel between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. it's the same parallel. And I'll explain. For whatever reason, our women, black and Hispanic women, y'all are so hateful and jealous towards one another that there can only be one of you. It ties into the whole argument with polygyny, polygamy, you know, and a lot of women's lack of want to submit to it because of the hate that y'all harbor towards one another and the envy and jealousy that y'all harbor towards one another. Point blank, period. The facts are this. Y'all can't coexist. Y'all always have to hate each other. Y'all can't share the spotlight. There can't be two top females in anything. There just can't be. So Serena has been dominant even over her sister for years. She has been the face of women's tennis. Now here comes this young sister, Haitian sister, mind you. She's up and coming, and Serena doesn't know what to do. The same way, here's Nicki. She's had a damn near decade run. I'll say she really rose 2010, so about 8 years, almost a decade run, a great run. But here's Cardi, who these girls are identifying more with, who's closer in age to this demographic, who's closer in lifestyle to this demographic, who, you know, she's literally just coming into like where she's playing with M's. She really was just like a little bit of an upgrade version of the average female that's listening and supporting her, versus Nicki, who's been a millionaire for 8 years, living a whole different type of lifestyle, disconnected from, you know, what she once was. And even when before she went into stardom, Nicki wasn't living the type of life that Cardi was living. You know, Cardi was dancing, you know, IG ratchet, and you know, she connected to and got a very loyal fan base off of that. Then she did the Love and Hip Hop thing, which expanded her fan base, and a lot of women identify with her. A lot of black and Latino women are identifying with her. Period. Nicki, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. The same way Serena, there's nothing you can do about it. And in the case with Serena, it served Serena right when she made her choice to lay down and procreate and marry that white man, that she deserves to be dethroned. And it's only right that she deserved to be dethroned by a Haitian sister, man. All right. You know, quite frankly, I'm well pleased with Naomi Osaka taking over the helm. And you just got to recognize it. And you got to recognize time, since you women are so envious and jealous and hateful towards one another. When the passing of the torch occurs, so to speak, in any realm of womendom, femininedom, femaledom, whatever the hell you want to call it, you got to recognize it, you know. So the thing about Nicki is, again, anybody who knows me knows, and I spoke about this in my last, or the podcast before last, I think. I've been a fan of Nicki, a major fan of Nicki Minaj for the last decade. But all I keep saying is, it's over. It's over. You had a good run, right? You know, the same way Lil' Kim didn't like when Nicki came up. She was mad about it, but Kim, is over. And the only reason that was even happening is because the gap was created because Remy Ma, you know, went to prison. So that created a gap. But it was really Remy's time, you know, and then, you know, the void was created. And Kim just thought it was hers still. Then Nicki came in and took it. But now it's Cardi's. But if you ask me, like you got Dream Doll, another artist out the Bronx, who was on a Bad Girls Club, and now she's on Love and Hip Hop. Personally, I think her music is better than Nicki's or Cardi's right now. Personally, as far as the female thing go, but it's just sad that females can't coexist with one another, because there are honestly a lot of female artists that are right now, if you ask me truthfully, and I don't care if they have ghostwriters or whatever. Personally, I think maybe they should, but if you ask me, female artists as far as rapping is going, are outperforming male artists. They're taking rap more seriously. They're putting more consideration into the music that they're putting out. They're putting more substantial types of music out versus mumble rapping, lean rapping, high rapping, BS rapping that a lot of men are doing. And I feel like women are doing that because they feel like they have to prove themselves that they can really rap, or they can at least take something that somebody else wrote and rap it. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of females. I just discovered some females this week. You feel me? And it may not be the most positive music with the most positive message, but it's music that I can say that I honestly like and would listen to. My bad. That I can say that I honestly like and would listen to, for sure. And if you ask me right now, Dream Doll, she got a joint called Pull Up. I think that's better than anything on Nicki album. Anything on Nicki album or anything on Cardi album. But that's just my personal opinion, you know. But yeah, so moving right along. But since we speaking of rap, hold on one second. Speaking of rap, y'all, this is Eminem thing, right? Number one, Eminem, Eminem made a crack at Joe Budden, right? Of the Joe Budden podcast, of which I'm a huge fan. Let me see something, right? And the crack he made at Joe Budden was about domestic violence. The hypocrisy of that devil Eminem is outside of the realm of my understanding. Let's see what Eminem says. This is lyrics from a song that Eminem featured on of Big Sean's called No Favors, right? Watch this. He says this. Insanely perverted, rapey, and scurvy. He's describing himself. He says, I'm going to start up. He says, so ahead of my time. Late means I'm early. My age is reversing. I'm basically 30. So the context is his description of his own self. Right? Then he says, amazingly sturdy, zany and wordy, brainy and nerdy, blatantly dirty, insanely perverted, rapey, and scurvy. So he's identifying himself as an insane level of having an insane level of perversion. Of course, that goes into Hebrews 12 and 16. Him being an Edomite. Insanely perverted. And then it says rapey. He's describing himself as an insanely perverted rapist. That's his own description of himself. But he's talking about somebody else, domestic violence. Then he says, they blame me for murdering Jamie Lee Curtis. Right? Which he's now going to describe in depth, a violent murder of a woman, right? Said, I put her face in the furnace, burnt her, beat her with the space heater, a piece of furniture, egg beater, thermos. It may be disturbing, right? So that is disturbing. So he's literally rapping about brutally murdering people and describing himself as a perverted rapist. But he has the nerve to make a crack to somebody about alleged incidents of domestic violence? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this now. This is a rape. This is a rape. He says, and fuck Ann Coulter with a Klan poster, with a lamppost, door handle, a shutter, a damn poke gutter, a sandal, a can opener, a candle, rubber, piano, a flannel, sucker, some hand soap, butter, a banjo, and a manhole cover, hand over mouth and a nose smother. So he's talking about raping a woman, smothering her mouth and nose while sodomizing her with various objects. This is what he's talking about. Then trample over the champ with a Land Rover, vehicular homicide. the band, the Lambo, the Hummer, and Roadrunner. Right? Now, but watch this. Where is the one I like? Where is the one I really like? Or not the one I really like, but the one I wanted to really highlight. Right here. Females, I stay beating them. Bet you they'll lay bleeding and yell wait pleading, but screaming is pointless like feeding Michelle helium, leaving him pale face, medium size, welt straight, treating him like a cellmate. This is what he's saying he does to women. So he's described raping and murdering and brutally beating women in 2 different instances in this verse. Then he goes on to just blatantly say he stays beating females. This is what he does. But he got the nerve to say something about somebody in domestic violence. Eminem is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And it's hilarious because I don't understand how so many black people have him in like a top 5 list. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm done with hearing niggas top 5s because I don't care because I know who's in it. It's Pac, Big, Eminem, Nas, and Jay-Z. That's everybody's top 5 list. It's ridiculous. I don't give a shit. Fuck your top 5 list, personally. And you know, Joe Budden made a point about how M has this uncanny ability to rhyme words, but he don't be talking about shit. And that's true. Like, even saying he's amazingly sturdy, zany, and wordy, brainy, and nerdy, blatantly dirty, insanely perverted, rapey, and scurvy. He rhymed hella words. And that was cool, and he has a great ability to do that. But that's the thing about people who aren't of us, who aren't Israelites, who aren't the salt of the earth, who aren't black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. When they do something, it's hella mechanical. So like when you see Asians dancing, it's hella mechanical versus it just being so natural like it is for us. That's why they typically don't just break out in a dance. They dance something that they rehearsed or practice, and they have routines or numbers. But just having their own, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't just vibe on its own. It's all rehearsed, it's calculated, it's mechanical. In the same way is Eminem's rapping, it's mechanical. So it's just literally taking words and rhyming them. Even if it doesn't mean anything or quite say anything or have an overall message, he's going to take them and rhyme them. It's what he does. It's not all that. And then on top of it, it's funny because I was just talking to a brother on Facebook, man. And, you know, he was like, he can't trust a black person that has Eminem in their top 5. And I said, I agree. How in the hell could they even have him there? And I made the point, when the last time you remember a nigga just driving around knocking the Eminem show. Just riding around, riding through the hood, riding on the freeway, just the Eminem show is on. Marshall Mathers LP is on. Slim Shady LP, I'm just riding around knocking the Slim Shady LP. Yeah, right. What type of self-respecting black man is just riding around to that all day? Let's be honest here. It's not happening. He ain't really in your top 5. You're not running around riding to that like you're riding to All Eyes on Me, nigga. Like you're riding on Ready to Die. Like you're riding around a Reasonable Doubt. Like you're riding around the Illmatic. You're not riding around to none of that like you ride. So how in the hell is he even to be mentioned with them same brothers, man? Don't even make sense. Ridiculous. You know, and then MGK, I like Machine Gun Kelly's diss to him. And I like all this white on white crime, and I'd like for it to increase. And he dropped, I guess, his response to MGK, which I didn't hear, and I don't care about, and I don't want to hear, quite frankly. And big shout out to Lord Jamar as well. But I like all the white on white crime. Let's keep it white on white crime. All you white rappers keep dissing each other, keep overdosing on drugs, dying like Mac Miller. Keep doing all that. I like all that. Keep it up. I love it. I want more of it. All right? Please. Please, please, please. I want more of it. But in addition to my fault. Since we on rap still. So those of y'all may be familiar with 6ix9ine. A lot of people familiar with 6ix9ine. You know, one of my homeboys, you know, he runs with 6ix9ine. He's an artist signed to Treyway. He go by the name of Al Shaw Martin, man. I managed that brother briefly too. Back in 2012, before he went to jail, he ended up doing 3 years. And, you know, he's been grinding ever since, and that's how, you know, he came upon this situation he has now with Treyway. But you know, he was on the radio on Hot 97. He had a cool little freestyle, man, and you know, I was happy for him, and you know, got his little Treyway chain, man, which was blinging. Diamonds was dancing on that mug, and you know, he's seems like they handling him properly, and he's got some really good records out. That's out and that he's currently working on and getting ready to release, man. So, you know, I just wanted to take this time to give him a shout out. And if y'all ain't familiar with him, check him out, Al Shawn Martin. Again, he got a couple good records out. Fashion with 6ix9ine. He got Ben out. Song Ben, which Ben is one of my favorite records of all time, and one of the most relatable records I've ever heard in my life. You know, there's a lot of parallels between he and I. And then he's got Homicide. I want to say Homicide is getting ready to come out. I think that's his next record. You know, so look out for that, man. I just want to make sure I gave him a quick plug, man. Gave him a quick plug. 1 second, let me turn this alarm off. Alright, where was I at, man? Okay, so what I want to do now is I had a debate last night and a debate last week Tuesday, so I'd like to talk about those. Let me first go to the debate I had last week Tuesday. Last week I debated a brother by the name of Black Jesus Minister, aka George Blanche, on is polygamy or polygyny in particular acceptable in the New Testament. That was the debate we had. And I debated this brother George Blanche about 4 years ago on a radio show called Talk Real Solutions. And I debated him on the topic of, is Obama good for black people? In my opinion, you got to be a damn fool to attempt to substantiate that Obama was beneficial for black people, because there's no facts that you could substantiate to back your claim whatsoever. So I use facts, I use the Bible, I use all that to substantiate that Obama, of course, was not good for black people. In doing so, he ended up losing. So this platform, Talk Real Solutions, had a voting system. So the voting system was predicated upon people calling in, and I think there was 16 total votes. And I won 12-4 through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. So I won that. And my thing is, you know, I don't mind having a voting system to determine the winner of the debate, but ultimately I feel like each individual is going to make their own decision as to who won the debate. And I just feel like, you know, that's the better way to do it. Just like with battle rap, I don't like the judges thing. Like, everybody's going to say who won what, even if somebody else, like if somebody's declared the winner, the people who still feel like they didn't win are still going to say, well, they didn't win. It's not as simple as a sport where we're scoring points and, you know, there's a clear and decisive winner, you know, at the buzzer. That's just not what happens. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to, in their own mind, come to their own conclusions as to who won what. It's just what's going to happen. So, but, you know, I don't mind it, but, you know, I just truly feel like it's kind of like a novelty. But, you know, here in the Solar Mind Debate League, he has a similar format, but a more balanced format. And the format is predicated upon three categories. You get the judge's vote, the peers vote, and the popular vote or the people's vote. So the people's vote is people call in and vote, and then whoever wins that wins one category. Then you have the peers vote, which means the other debaters who are in the league, they call in and they place their votes. Whoever wins that gets one vote. And then Solar Mind, being the judge, comes in and asks questions, and he makes his decision predicated upon the questions he asked and the information that he gathered over the course of the debate. So those are 3 categories. Whoever wins at least 2 of those 3 categories wins the debate. In the case of tiebreakers, the popular vote will decide the tiebreakers. So, it is what it is. But and I like the system, and I think the system is fair and balanced. It doesn't just rely on popularity; it also relies on peer. And to me, the peer vote is very important, and as well as the judge vote. So with Black Jesus Minister, the first thing that happened was the peer vote. We tied our peer vote 2-2. Then the popular vote came in. I think the popular vote was I think I got 16 popular votes or people's votes, and he got 0. Then the judge's vote, he came and made inquisition, and Black Jesus Minister, my opponent, he really didn't answer the question that Solomon was asking as a judge, and he gave him multiple opportunities, but all he wanted to do was run his damn mouth, so he kind of blew it. And then I, through the grace and spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, was able to adequately and sufficiently answer all the questions that the brother Solomon had asked me. So he decided to give his vote to me. So it was, I won 2 categories, and we tied in 1 category. So in me winning 2 categories and us tying in 1 category, of course I won because I won 2 categories. Hold on. One second. All right. So yeah, man, he was mad as hell. He got the L. You know what it was. Then he went on a rant because this is what he did. This is why I refused to debate him for 4 years. And if y'all watch the debate, he's like, "Oh yeah, Gorilla, you've been running for me, nigga, 4 years." All this madness. But the reason why I refused to debate him after that is because how he acted when we debated. After he lost, the nigga got so crunchy and salty that he went on a smear campaign. He said I was knocking up 14-year-olds and God knows what, and was spamming me on all my comments and going to anybody who would comment on my page and going to their page and spamming them. And I just had to block the nigga, and I was like, man, I'm going to just act like he don't even exist. But then he entered into this league, and, I believe in this league, man. And, I really want to see it go far. I believe in the brother Solar Mind's vision. And so I said, all right, look, boom. Because a couple months ago, he tried to call me and Deacon out. And he was like, I want to debate that nigga Gorilla on polygamy and blah, blah. So I was like, all right. Once I seen him in the league, I said, okay, well, let's do it. Let's do the polygamy debate. And if you got on our Patreon, I had leaked a phone call, man, on Patreon exclusive. Check that out. Patreon.com/SICARRI. And I leaked it on Patreon. And this dude is a nut. And he's complaining. So basically, he wanted to. We had been supposed to do the debate, but he wanted to wait until all the voting system was official. So we had to wait for the voting system to be official to do the debate. We did it. The voting came out. I won through the spirit and power by the grace of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And he did better than I expected. He did a good job, I think. But I just think it was inadequate. Here goes Solomon calling me right now. 1 second. Okay, so Brother Solomon just called me, just got off the phone. And people are really upset about his decision of me winning yesterday's debate. So he literally just called me, and he wants to bring me on live right now for like a post-fight interview. So what I'm going to actually do is, am I going to end this? What else do I got to talk? I got to talk about the Predator review. I got to talk about this debate. Yeah, man. So, you know what? What I'm going to do actually, y'all, is I'm going to end this. I was going to stop it and then come back to it after. I'm going to end this, and then we'll talk about the other stuff on another edition. My apologies, but niggas is salty. So, we got to deal with this. But I'm going to give again all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Thank y'all for listening. Also, I plan to start doing my wrestling podcast, Gorilla 316. They got Hell in a Cell this Sunday, and then Most High One of myself and my soldier Yadiah will be attending Raw in Dallas, Texas on Monday. So after Hell in a Cell and Raw, I'm probably gonna do I'm probably going to start my wrestling podcast, Gorilla 316, so look out for that. But yeah, with that, again, all praises out of the glory to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, and Shalom.